Hey everyone, it's been a while. We're talking Apple Vision Pro, getting caught up on the VisionOS 2, 2.1 and 2.2 updates. I will leave bookmarks in the description because this is a long one, so stick around. Happy New Year, happy holidays, and let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry I've been absent for the last, few months. I tried dropping some videos, made it about to the Adobe Premiere Pro a few times. Then I went to go edit that video today, one of the main ones, and that's what we're here to talk about today, and that's VisionOS 2 and the Apple Vision Pro and where we're at. Unfortunately, the content that I recorded is no longer... There was a lot of, oh, it's coming soon. Anyway, it's all here now, and I'm excited to bring you the updates. If you have a headset, great. If you don't have a headset, then you'll get to see what you may be missing, what you may, be interested in buying the headset for, and where everything is headed. So happy holidays to you. We just made it through the Christmas season here, and whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope it was a safe and happy celebration. Let's get started. One of the first main features that was added was the ability to add an immersive or spatial type of, I guess, it's not really a filter, it converts the photo. So from your Apple Photos gallery, you can take any photo that you've already taken and make it three-dimensional, or sort of, simulated 3D. It's pretty cool. It's cool that it doesn't edit your actual original photo. So the original photo stays intact and it makes what is a 2D photo appear three-dimensional. And I'll try and show that to you here in a little clip. It's pretty cool. I can't say the same for immersive video. So since I got the headset, VisionOS 1, and iPhone 15, I guess it was iOS 17, now we're on 18 something. The immersive video on the device is disappointing. I say immersive, but if you look in the camera app, you'll see there's a spatial tab. If you want to record video in that, good luck. It's not a great experience. And the reason being is it limits the field of view so much that it makes the video not even really worth watching, unfortunately. Not only that, but you've then chosen to record in 1080p because spatial video is limited to 1080p. And so now you've sacrificed being able to record that in 4K or whatever format you prefer. So I actually strongly recommend against it. What I do recommend, though, for an immersive environment is panorama. And I'll show you a sample, but the panorama photos, they actually appear immersive. I mean, it's not the same as a video. And there's reasons for that. There's reasons that you can't do it on an iPhone 15 or a 16 or probably even a 17. But if you're going to take something in what you want to be immersive, try panorama because it really immerses you in this 180-degree photo that looks almost three-dimensional. So that's something to give a try. And that brings me to the spatial video, immersive video, and the limitations and why we're at where we're at. And that's because it requires a $30,000 minimum camera. And I say $30,000, it's actually $29,995, and that camera is coming. In early 2025, you'll be able to go out and purchase, you can pre-order it now, a Blackmagic camera. It's called the Ursa. Is it Ursa? Ursa Cine Immersive. And it's a cool looking camera. That's going to actually benefit all of us. I mean, yes, I guess you could say a content creator, but the more professional content creators that have $30,000 to spare, they can actually start dropping some content that all of us can enjoy. So the content that's slow to roll out right now, and I'll show you that in a bit, like the Apple TV immersive videos, that content can be supplemented with some content creator content from people outside the Apple company. So that's exciting news. And then Canon is also releasing a lens. I don't have any details on that yet. I expect it's going to be a little pricey. I don't expect that their current camera lineup is going to support it, because it really seems like if we're spending $30,000 on a Blackmagic camera, there's probably something to that, and you're not going to be able to run out and use a $600 camera with whatever price lens. So I'd expect to see some cameras to support that type of processing. Now, getting back to the Blackmagic camera, some really cool specs there if you have the 30 grand to shell out. And it's almost 118 million pixels. It captures 8K for each lens at 90 frames per second, which is really insane. So the problem is, how do we watch that content? Right? Because I don't think they're going to be able to publish to the Apple TV, content library easily. Maybe that's something that's coming. I don't know. But Vimeo actually has an app coming that will support the Apple Vision Pro and immersive or spatial content. So that'll be an exciting change. Thanks, Vimeo, for supporting this ecosystem. And I hope that once we see those cameras out in the wild, that we'll start seeing some more spatial content, because 180 degrees of video and at such a high frame rate, at such high resolution, is really spectacular. And it really makes what the Apple Vision Pro headset is what it is. Now, let's talk about some other changes coming up. There's new content out for the Apple Vision Pro and VisionOS 2. With VisionOS 2, we saw a couple new series added, and let's see, we have Submerged, we have Elevated, we have Wildlife. I'll try and throw up a video of a couple of these, although I can't show you the actual content because of copyright. The headset doesn't even allow it. But there's a couple new series out there, and there's also some new episodes added to what we had already. So that's some exciting changes. It's fun content to watch. And there's even one that takes place on a submarine where there's actual actors, and you feel like you're right there in the boat, in the submarine, watching everything go down around you. It's a really different experience if you've, never experienced it before. What else do we have? We have new hand gestures so that you can get to the control center and your shortcuts. Before, it was a really clunky experience where you had to look up and then you'd wait and see, and then you'd click and the menu would come down. Now it's just a matter of putting your hands up. It takes a little practice, but it is a nice feature. So it makes it easier, especially to get to the volume, because one of the most frustrating things was getting to that, pulling the menu down before you'd look up, wait for it to pull down, and then finally, after a couple clicks, you'd get to the volume. Now it's just a matter of a couple, it's flicking your wrist and then pinching and bringing the volume down. It's a lot faster. You can get to the current time, battery level, and again, the control center, and then also home view. You can click and it'll bring the home screen up. I usually just tap the button up top. Editing the home screen layout. So for those of you with OCD and hate having the apps not arranged the way you like, or always dragging to the third screen, because you are limited by the number of rows. If you don't like that, now your wish has come true, because you can pinch and then, just like any other iOS product, when you pinch, it goes into like a shaky editing mode, and you can drag the icons wherever you need. So that's a nice new feature. What else do we have? Travel mode for trains. So if you're traveling on trains, it's not my thing. I live in the Colorado area. We don't have many trains. So, if you're a commuter on a train, if you take long train and you like to travel the country on trains, well, then this is really for you. You can go into travel mode while you're on the train, and it adjusts for the motion that a train experiences. So that when you're pinning things and then you move, it's not pinned 200 miles behind you. And then also the spatial awareness. So now, if it was me, most trains, I'm not willing to put this headset on because I don't think I trust that it's not going to yank off my head. You really limit your spatial and, peripheral awareness when you put the headset on. It's an expensive thing to put on your head. I definitely wouldn't wear it on, the A train, in some major city where you're just going from one short point to the next. If you're sitting back in your own train car or, sleeper car, or, you just trust the environment you're in, or maybe you're in a country where, there is no crime, that's great. Then this is for you. You can just enjoy a movie or maybe even be productive at a table with the right equipment. We also have something exciting, speaking of productivity, Mac Virtual Display. Now, that came out in the 2 release back in September, and since then it's gotten even better with an ultra-wide view. So this is like having 2 4K side-by-side displays. So you can select standard, wide, or ultra-wide. It's like having a desktop in front of you with an ultra-wide display. And you can select it as long as you're on the same Wi-Fi network, as long as you are signed into your iCloud on both devices, as long as you have Bluetooth on, as long as the OS releases are up to date on both. Great, you are ready to go. But that's like most Apple products, right? That's when things work best, is when you're fully in the ecosystem and everything's switched on. So if you want to be productive, great. But the challenge has also been if you want to use a keyboard. So good news on that front, because the Magic Keyboard is now supported for pass-through. That's right. If you like to use the headset in an environment, I can't show you because I don't have a Magic Keyboard, but if you like to use it in an environment and you're fully immersed, normally, even with a Bluetooth keyboard, which are now supported, Bluetooth keyboards and mice are supported on the Apple Vision Pro, but if you're fully immersed, you can't see it. And so that's changed now. If you're using a Magic Keyboard, it will pass through just like your hands pass through, and you can see it. So that's exciting news. Dictation in messages. So if you've ever gotten a text message on the headset, you'll know it's a pain to respond because you have to use the virtual keyboard, which is not ideal, right? So now you can look, and as long as you're looking at the microphone in the text message, it will just start listening for your voice, and it will dictate into the message for you, and then you can send. That is really nice because pulling your phone up is what I was used to trying to do. A message would come in, pull my phone up. I have the headset on, so Face ID doesn't work. I have to wait. I have to wait for the PIN screen to come up, and then I would enter my PIN, and then finally I could use it, but you're still looking at a screen through a screen, so it's not perfect. Anyway, this is all better now with dictation and messages just by looking at the microphone. One of the biggest features that I enjoy, starting with VisionOS 2, are the new environments. So there's 2 of them, Lake Vrangla and Bora. Now, Lake Vrangla, I think maybe that's around Oslo, Norway area. This one, just like the others, light or dark, so you can have daytime or nighttime. And Bora, same thing, daytime. It's actually more of a sunset, so you'll see the sun setting, still a little light out. So if you want something dark, I would go with a different one. But the coolest thing about Lake Vrangla, similar to Mount Hood, is that it supports the theater environment where you can drop a movie screen onto the lake while you're sitting there watching a movie. And I'll show that off here, but that's really nice. It simulates being in some type of not a drive-through or drive-in. Drive-in. It's not really like a drive-in because you're not in a parking lot. It's nice. This massive screen is sitting out on a lake. And that also, and I found this just by clicking through in Safari, there's a new feature where you can pop out your YouTube videos or other videos that support like a full screen. If you pop those out, they'll actually also set up on the lake just like a movie would. And yeah, it's really cool to watch. So YouTube doesn't have an app out yet, unfortunately. We'll see if that ever happens because of the, competition that they probably have with whoever, with Apple and everyone else. Without a YouTube app, normally you wouldn't be able to do the environments, but it's different if you have something that has a full screen video and a web page. So that embedded content, if you can pop it out, it will pop onto the lake or whatever environment you're in. So that's a nice new feature. Those two features kind of go hand in hand. And then some other new features, less interesting. We have a passwords app, which, now you've seen probably iOS 18 has the passwords app. That's also out on VisionOS 2. I'm not sure a lot of people are using it, but, I guess it's nice to be able to, I think it supported the sign-in before, but now you can actually access your passwords. So it's nice to have. AirPlay sharing of the headset. So on the headset, it's called screen mirroring. And that's where you can mirror what's on the device so that other people can see it. So if I have a couple of Rokus in the house, I can select one of those in the screen mirroring screen, which is really just AirPlay. And those will pop up and you can share to the screen. The downside, 720p. So you're enjoying this 8K resolution and you're sharing it to somebody who's looking at it and thinking, wow, 720p, but they can still see the content. Hopefully at some point they can increase that at least to 1080p, if not to 4K. So I feel like it's a bit of a disappointment for the person watching when you're enjoying the content. But guest user mode. So that brings us to the next feature, and that is the ability to allow a user to calibrate and stay calibrated. So if you've used it in the past with VisionOS 1, you'll know that every time a user grabs the headset, puts it on, they have to calibrate their hand-eye, basically, coordination. And now that's changed. So that makes for a much better sharing experience for families, friends, if you're trying to show it off to somebody, if family members, like to grab your headset. So it'll save their calibration for up to 30 days. So that's a nice new feature. AirPlay receiver mode, so that you can take your iPhone and iPad and see the device in your headset. And where this comes in handy is, like I said before, you're trying to use Face ID to try and authenticate, and then you go to the PIN. Well, this lets you just have the iPhone or iPad right up in your display, and then you can see what's on there. So that is a nice addition. I have not honestly tried it yet. Another couple minor things. Breathing rates now supported in the mindfulness app. So if you use mindfulness for meditation, great, that's good for you. I don't use it. I think I should be using it, but I just enjoy sitting back in an immersive environment, and that feels relaxing for me. If you prefer the mindfulness app, then it now recognizes your breathing. There's something about SharePlay with Apple Music that I haven't tried yet, but that is supposedly now supported. And also SharePlay within FaceTime calls. So if you want to share content while you're in a call with somebody, I haven't used FaceTime yet. the headset. So I do think it's a little bit weird. Personas are supposedly better than they were, but I guess that's not my thing yet. I will try that at some point, but now you can share play content. And then one huge update for you sports lovers is up to 5 games in multi-view mode in Apple TV. Yeah. So full disclosure, I'm not into watching sports. It just doesn't keep my attention. So, but if you like Major League Soccer, Major League Baseball, then you can watch up to 5 games in multi-view mode at one time in the Apple TV app, which really is kind of wild. I should probably try it because, that is intriguing to me. I would love to be able to watch 5 different things at once. Maybe that would get me into sports, so it would keep my attention. I'm not sure. So those are the major updates. We're on version 2.2 right now in the public. Mine is on 2.3 beta. I haven't seen anything groundbreaking in that version yet. So if that changes and when that changes, Happy New Year to you. More content coming. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and Happy New Year.